Alms, please. Spare a coin for the hungry. Have mercy, good sirs, a coin for the blind.
In the days when Jesus walked the earth, there was a man named Bartimaeus. His name means son of Timaeus. Bartimaeus lived in a world of total darkness because he was blind. He could not see the blue sky, the dusty roads, or the faces of his friends. Because he could not see, he could not work a regular job to earn money for food. Instead, he had to sit by the side of the busy road near the city of Jericho and beg people for spare coins. Every day was the same for him. He would sit on his cloak, listen to the footsteps of people passing by, and call out for help. But one specific day, everything changed. As Bartimaeus sat in his usual spot, he heard a sound different from the normal walking of a few people. He heard a great multitude, a very large crowd of people. He could hear hundreds of feet hitting the ground and many voices talking at once. Bartimaeus asked the people nearby what was happening. They told him the news. Jesus of Nazareth is passing by. Bartimaeus had heard stories about Jesus. He had heard that Jesus was a kind teacher who had the power of God to heal the sick and make the blind see. Bartimaeus believed these stories were true. He believed that Jesus was the promised Savior, the Son of David. Even though Bartimaeus could not see where Jesus was, he knew Jesus was close. He didn't want to miss his only chance to be healed. So, he began to shout as loud as he could, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me!" The people in the front of the crowd were annoyed by him. They thought he was just a poor beggar making too much noise. They told him to be quiet and stop shouting. But Bartimaeus did not stop. In fact, he shouted even louder, "Son of David, have mercy on me!" He was not ashamed to ask for help. Jesus, who was walking with his disciples, suddenly stopped. Even with the noise of the huge crowd, Jesus heard the cry of the one man who had great faith. Jesus did not keep walking. Instead, he commanded the people to call the blind man over. The people went to Bartimaeus and said, "Be of good comfort, rise, he is calling you." Bartimaeus was so excited that he did something very important. He threw away his beggar's cloak. That cloak was likely his most valuable possession, keeping him warm at night, but he threw it aside because he believed he wouldn't need to sit and beg ever again. He jumped up and went toward the sound of Jesus' voice. When Bartimaeus reached him, Jesus asked a question, "What do you want me to do for you?" Jesus knew what the man needed, but he wanted Bartimaeus to speak his faith out loud. Bartimaeus did not ask for money or food. He looked toward where Jesus was and said, "Lord, that I might receive my sight." Jesus looked at him with love and said, "Go your way, your faith has made you well." Immediately, the darkness vanished. For the first time in a long time, Bartimaeus saw the light of the sun and the face of Jesus. His eyes were completely healed. Bartimaeus was so thankful and happy that he did not just go back to his old life. The Bible tells us that as soon as he received his sight, he followed Jesus along the road, praising God for the miracle he had received. All the people who saw it also gave praise to God, because they saw that the man who was once blind could now see perfectly. The story of Bartimaeus teaches us several timeless lessons about the human nature and faith. The first lesson we learn is the power of spiritual hearing. Though Bartimaeus was physically blind, his spiritual ears were wide open. He recognized a divine moment when it arrived. Many people walked past Jesus that day just to see a famous man, but Bartimaeus listened with his heart and realized that his healer was within reach. He teaches us to stay alert to the moments when hope is passing by, even when our current circumstances feel dark. The second lesson is the courage to ignore the critics. When Bartimaeus began to cry out, the respectable crowd tried to silence him. They told him he was too loud, too desperate, or perhaps too insignificant to bother the master. Bartimaeus shows us that when you are fighting for your life and your future, you cannot let the opinions of others dictate your volume. He shouted all the louder. This teaches us that persistence is often the bridge between our current problem and our future breakthrough. The third lesson is found in the casting away of the cloak. Before he could even see, Bartimaeus threw aside the garment that identified him as a beggar. This was an act of preemptive faith. He decided he was finished with his old identity before the miracle even happened. He teaches us that to move into a new season, we must be willing to let go of the comforts and labels of our past struggles. If you feel like you are sitting by the roadside of life today, watching others move forward while you feel stuck in a cycle of darkness or lack, be encouraged by this story. You may feel invisible to the world, but you are not invisible to the Creator. Just as Jesus stopped the entire procession for one man who had no status, He is mindful of your specific cry. Your situation is not too small for His attention, nor is it too broken for His touch. Be encouraged to use your voice. Do not let fear or the crowd of negative thoughts tell you to be quiet. Whether you are seeking healing, a new direction, or peace of mind, let your request be known with the same boldness as Bartimaeus. Finally, remember that the question Jesus asked is still being asked today. What do you want me to do for you? Be specific in your prayers. Just as the morning sun finally broke through for Bartimaeus, your season of seeing clearly is possible. Throw off the cloak of your past discouragement, stand up, and prepare to walk a new path. Your faith, no matter how small it feels, has the power to change everything. Thank you for watching. Did you enjoy this story? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please like and share this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel. God bless you. Shalom.